born this way. So when I was a very young child, a toddler, I asked my mom why. And my mother told me about a loving God who made me perfect, who doesn't make mistakes, and he had a purpose for my life, and how much he loved me. And he doesn't make mistakes. And I know people talk, some disagree with children at such a young age come to know the Lord, but I know he came into my heart. She told me how he watched over me, and he was with me everywhere I went and everything I did. And through my whole life, he has been with me everywhere and everything I went through. I grew up in an age when people like me were put in what they called parochial schools. You were not to be out in public. You kept behind. And my mother said I was going to go to a public school. They said no. And I remember standing right by my mother and her telling them that she was not going to leave until they would sign me up in school. They took me in. I just kind of fast forward real quick. In high school, I was a captain of the girls' basketball team. So that's how God can do things when the world thinks you can't, but God knows that you can. He has always given me the ability to do whatever I needed to do when I needed to do it. He's always been there with me. And about 15 years ago, I cut the tendon between my thumb and my first finger. And the tip of my thumb was flapping around like you wouldn't believe. So I had to have surgery to retie the tendon. And I had my hand in a cast for 8 weeks. The only thing that stuck out was these 4 fingers. These 4. Frank tried to put makeup on for me one morning. And I said, Lord, I need your help. So the next day he taught me how to do it with 2 fingers, because I have blonde eyebrows and blonde eyelashes, and you wouldn't know I was coming or going. So, I mean, he's always given me that ability. He's giving me so much through life, and I know he's used me as a witness for him, because I've been told by other people, if you can do it, I can do it. I've been very active, as most of you know. I have horses. I bridle my horses. I saddle my horses. My left knee is given out, so I don't get on the saddle so quick. But he's always been with me in everything. And when I first came to choir, I know Peter kind of looked at me like this. I said, use me. And that's what I mean. If me just standing somewhere would make people realize, wow, if she can do it, I can do it, then I want to bring that glory to God. However he wants to use me, and he has. I have gone through a lot of crisis. My 2-year-old nephew drowned in our pool, and I'm the one who found him at 15 years old. I know what heartache is. I was raised in a family where my mother loved the Lord, but it was a tough family. It was a tough time. My mind's kind of like going all over the place because I have so much to tell. I grew up with a grandmother that was totally invalid in the back bedroom. She was totally deformed from rheumatoid arthritis, and that back in the 40s and 50s, there was nothing they could do. And my mother literally took care of her for 50 years of her life. And that's how I grew up. And because of that influence, and because of the heart that God gave me for people, because I love people. I love to acknowledge people and give them hugs and let them know that they matter, because that love comes from God. I'm just a vessel. And I just, my mom would take us to the store pushing my grandmother, and here I come walking beside her, and people would go, oh my, poor things are, and we're like, are you kidding? Because we loved each other, and we loved being out together, and I was so proud of for the sacrifice that she gave. She gave her whole life to her mother. And that's another story of what she all went through. But God has been really, really good to me. Frank and I had twins. I thought, okay, God, how are you going to do this one? And you know what? He helped me to figure it out. I would hold one baby one time, and the other one would lay beside me, and I'd prop the bottle with the pillow, so I could immediately grab them with my left hand. I took care of both twins at home. Frank helped a lot in the beginning, and finally he says, I gotta go back to work. Frank and I have known each other since I was 7 and he was 12. We've been married 51 years. He was raised a Mormon, but he came to know the Lord at Berean Baptist in Northridge, and because he went to church with my family. So, if anything, I want to encourage you that no matter what your life throws your way, no matter what the world thinks, God thinks you're beautiful and you're precious and He loves you. And I know that when He hung on the cross, He said, I do this for Carol. So I already told Him, I don't need a right arm when I go to heaven. I don't need it. I'm fine the way You made me. I hope that encourages you all. Thanks.